Did you know that there are herbs that can help with things like processing grief? A lot of times we think that plants or supplements or changing our diet might only help with the physical body, things like chronic health conditions, but we don't realize the impact they have on the emotional body. And there are herbs that work in really beautiful ways to help us with things like processing grief. Think about it in the way that like magic mushrooms work. They work on a part of our brain that allows us to form new neural pathways and to reach places that we don't normally reach, and that has a lasting impact on our moods and our thought processes and how we interact with ourselves and the world. Well, there are a varying range of herbs that do the exact same thing. Not necessarily in the way that magic mushrooms do, but they work on more of like this emotional level, we could say, or they work on our body in a way that we don't just typically think of for herbs. So I remember learning years ago that herbs can help us process grief. And we have two really, really good herbs for this. They're Ashoka and Albizia, or Mimosa Bark. And I am drinking some Albizia right now. It's called the happiness tea. And it's one of those things that literally helps us to process grief. And the way it does it, or the way I've at least experienced it, is it makes us feel safe and it helps things come up and out, but in a way that the charge is gone from them. So we might be able to process or dig up or recall old memories or events, but not have a charge when they come, which allows us to bring these things up and move them out. So it's almost like being on MDMA. If you've ever done MDMA in more of like a therapeutic loving setting, not in like the rave techno setting, it allows you to talk about and process things in a way that there's like a cushioning between them. Like you're not taking things so personal. There's some distance and some space, and you can become more of an observer than somebody that's just like in it. And so when we take these herbs, they help things come up and out, because that's how we process emotions. When we don't process emotions, we have these emotions and they get stuck. Every emotion has to go somewhere. So if we're not actually feeling our emotions, if we're just shoving it down, if we're not making space for it, we have this silo in our head of all these emotions and memories and moments that we never fully dealt with, and it's just piling up and piling up and piling up, and it gets to this point where it's like bursting at the seams, and our mind feels full and our emotions feel full and everything feels full until we go clean it up. But cleaning it up and exploring the mind can be really scary because a lot of us are afraid of what might be in there. I remember when I started experimenting with psychedelics, that's one thing that I quickly realized, like I was afraid of what was in my mind. And being on mushrooms and the way it kind of like refrags everything and does like this deep clean out, this reset, this reboot, allowed me to like look around my mind and realize like it's okay in here. There's not skeletons in the closet. There's not spiders under the rug. Like it's all okay. I can shine a light and explore anywhere in my mind and it is okay. It's not to say I don't have some buried or oppressed memories that I haven't quite dealt with yet. Like there's a lot of stuff in there from a lifetime of being unaware that still needs to get processed and dealt with. But I have tools like meditation and herbs, and I work with a hypnotherapist, and I do these things that when these things do come up, I can usually process them with a little more love and compassion and less of a it hurts, it stings, it's painful, and let it go. And these things are still painful, but there's just, like I said, a little bit of cushioning, a little softness now. So these herbs like Albizia, Mimosa Bark are really, really cool and can be part of a really holistic, natural, integrated approach to helping people through something like grief. I don't think many people would make the connection that you should go see an herbalist when you are going through something like grief, but there's a lot of reasons that anytime you're dealing with something physical, emotional, or spiritual, that working with someone who does something that's really integrated and takes in all the pieces of the whole picture together can really, really help. Our traditional medicines like Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine have always acknowledged this interconnectedness between the mind, the body, and the soul. And so when we work in these realms with these tools, with this knowledge, we're able to help with things like grief, like anger, like regret, like repressed memories, like a lack of joy. All of these things are in scope, and it's really, really cool because there are just so many tools in the toolbox to help people along the path to claiming the birthright to health and happiness, which is what we're all about. So I hope you took away from this little rant that plants can help us in so many different capacities. They might not be the end all, but they are one of the best central tools to any healing program. I think that should be there. If you are healing, herbs are central and everything else is ancillary. So we have beautiful herbs to help with everything from heartbreak to processing grief, to finding joy, and anything in between on the emotional level. And it's really freaking cool. It's just, it blows my mind every day. And I'm so blessed to have the exposure, the knowledge to not only work with these things with myself, but with my family, with my loved ones, and with my clients. I'm Lila, the founder and lead clinician of the Virtual Natural Healing Clinic, a space where we help people who aren't finding help claim their birthright to health and happiness. So whether you're dealing with something chronic, like a disease or a condition or symptoms, or you have an acute problem, the clinic is here to support you in whatever comes up and is in your way between you and the health and happiness that is your absolute birthright. If you're interested in the clinic or what we do below, check the description, and I'd love to invite you to subscribe and join along with us on this journey to making it all feel okay.